done that besides you guys?
Okay, well, we've heard that it hasn't really happened since the Beatles.
Oh, Boys to Men might have done it. Oh, no,
They could have.
No, it's true.
In the shiny world of disco music lived a singer who didn't like many other bands. Robin Gibb was part of a famous group called the Bee Gees. They sang really high songs like Stayin' Alive that made people want to dance. But Robin wasn't just a good singer. He also said mean things about other musicians he didn't like.
You hear them on the radio and don't recognise them because they're mixed in with all a lot of records. And
Welcome to another episode of Offstage Tales. Today we're going to talk about Robin Gibb and 6 bands that he really didn't like. Robin was from England and he made really fancy disco music. He thought his music was the best and other bands were bad. Music should sound perfect and make people feel good, Robin once said to a music magazine. When bands make messy music, they're doing it wrong. Robin thought lots of popular bands were doing music the wrong way. Robin got into fights with other musicians. Sometimes these fights happened where people made music. Sometimes they happened at big music award shows. These fights show us that even though the Bee Gees looked nice and happy, Robin could be really mean to other bands. So put on your dancing shoes and let's count down the 6 bands that made Robin really angry. You might be surprised by some of these names. 6. The Rolling Stones. Coming in at number 6 is a band that might surprise you, the Rolling Stones. These famous rock singers made Robin Gibb really upset because they played music so differently from the Bee Gees. The trouble started in the 1970s when both bands were making hit songs. The Rolling Stones played loud, messy rock music while Robin liked clean, pretty disco music.
Not a question about being a musician or playing an instrument to impress people.
A music reporter said Robin once told his friends, "They just make noise and call it music. Where are the beautiful melodies?" Robin didn't like how the Rolling Stones sang or played their guitars. He thought Mick Jagger moved around too much on stage and didn't sing nicely like the Bee Gees did. Robin believed music should sound perfect and make people happy, but the Rolling Stones made rough, wild music. The biggest fight happened at a music party in 1977. Robin and Mick Jagger were both there, and Robin supposedly said, "Real musicians know how to sing in harmony. You just shout." Mick Jagger just laughed, but Robin walked away feeling angry. Robin was also mad because the Rolling Stones were more famous than the Bee Gees in some places. He thought disco music was better than rock music, so he couldn't understand why people liked the Rolling Stones more. After Robin died, the Rolling Stones said nice things about his singing. But when Robin was alive, he thought they represented everything wrong with music. Too loud, too messy, and not beautiful enough for his taste. At number 5, we have ABBA, the Swedish pop group that made Robin Gibb really jealous. Both bands made happy, danceable music, but Robin thought ABBA was copying the Bee Gees' style.
But the sun is still in the sky and shining above you.
The trouble began in 1976 when ABBA's song Dancing Queen became a huge hit around the world.
And of course, the #1 song in the US and all over the world, Dancing Queen.
Robin was upset because he thought it sounded too much like Bee Gees' music.
So what happens is when you've been writing songs that we have, because we write our own songs, when you've been writing for a long time, you get a feel for how to build.
A music magazine writer said Robin told people, "We invented this sound first, and now they're stealing it from us." Robin was especially annoyed with ABBA because they were from Sweden but sang in English, just like the Bee Gees were from England but became famous in America. He thought there wasn't room for 2 disco groups that sounded similar. The biggest drama happened at a European Music Awards show in 1978. Both bands were nominated for the same prize, and ABBA won. Robin was so mad that he reportedly said backstage, "They're just copying our homework and getting better grades." What made Robin even more upset was that ABBA had 2 women singers, Agnetha and Frida, who could sing high notes just like the Bee Gees brothers. Robin thought this was unfair competition because people liked hearing women's voices more than men's voices. Robin also didn't like that ABBA wore shiny, colorful costumes that were even more fancy than the Bee Gees' white suits. He thought they were trying too hard to be noticed and weren't focusing on making good music like his band did. 4. Led Zeppelin. Our number 4 spot goes to Led Zeppelin, the heavy rock band that made Robin Gibb cover his ears. These British musicians played the loudest, hardest music possible, which was the opposite of everything Robin loved about music. Led Zeppelin played with electric guitars that were very loud and drums that sounded like thunder. Robin liked soft, pretty music with nice singing, so he thought Led Zeppelin was just making noise.
Like their own voice. And I always liked the sound of my own voice. When I was in the shower singing, you always think that a singer will always know they've got
A music producer said Robin once complained, "They're hurting people's ears instead of making them happy." The trouble got worse because Led Zeppelin was also from England, just like the Bee Gees. Robin was embarrassed that people around the world thought all British bands sounded like Led Zeppelin's loud rock music instead of the Bee Gees' beautiful disco songs. The biggest fight happened at a recording studio in London in 1975. Both bands were working there on different days, but Robin heard Led Zeppelin's music playing really loud through the walls. He reportedly marched over and told them, "Some of us are trying to make real music here." Robin especially didn't like Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin's singer, because he screamed instead of singing nicely. Robin spent years learning how to sing high, pretty notes, but Robert Plant just yelled really loud. Robin thought this wasn't fair because people seem to like screaming more than beautiful singing. Even though Led Zeppelin sold millions of records, Robin always said they weren't real musicians because they didn't know how to sing softly and sweetly like the Bee Gees did. 3. The Eagles. Taking the number 3 spot are the Eagles, the American band that made Robin Gibb really angry because they also sang in harmony like the Bee Gees.
Wasn't just another woman, and I couldn't keep.
But Robin thought they were doing it wrong. The Eagles were famous for songs like Hotel California, where multiple singers sang together at the same time. This made Robin mad because he thought the Bee Gees were the best harmony singers in the world, and the Eagles were trying to copy them. The biggest problem started in 1976 when both bands were making hit songs. Music reporters said Robin told his brothers, "Those Americans think they can sing like us, but they don't understand how harmony really works." Robin believed only the Gibb brothers knew the secret to singing together perfectly. The worst fight happened at a music awards show where both bands performed. Robin watched the Eagles sing their harmonies and reportedly said to his manager, "They're singing the notes right, but they don't have the feeling. It sounds like robots trying to be human."
I don't think I would say we're a dysfunctional family, but we're very brought together more by music. In fact, I'd like to get it up to dysfunction.
Robin was also upset because the Eagles sang country and rock music with their harmonies, while the Bee Gees used harmonies for disco. He thought disco was a more sophisticated type of music that required better singing skills. When journalists asked Robin about other harmony groups, he would always say the Bee Gees were better. He thought the Eagles were just copying what his family did naturally, and he didn't like that they became famous for something the Gibb brothers invented first. 2. Queen. Coming in at number 2 is Queen, the British rock band that made Robin Gibb's blood boil because of their flashy performances and Freddie Mercury's powerful voice. Queen was famous for big dramatic concerts where Freddie Mercury wore fancy costumes and moved around the stage like a king. Robin thought this was showing off too much.
With the years into adulthood, because we didn't want to do anything else and we didn't want a boss.
A music journalist said Robin once complained, "Music should be about the songs, not about the singer acting like a circus performer." The trouble got really bad because Queen could sing in harmony like the Bee Gees, but they also played loud rock music. Robin thought they were wasting their talent by mixing beautiful singing with noisy guitars and drums. He believed harmony singing should only be used for pretty, peaceful music. The biggest drama happened in 1978 when both bands were popular at the same time. Robin was upset because Freddie Mercury could sing higher notes than any of the Bee Gees brothers. Robin had always been proud of his high voice, but Freddie could sing even higher, which made Robin feel bad about his own singing. Robin also didn't like Queen's song Bohemian Rhapsody because it was 6 minutes long and had many different parts. He thought songs should be simple and easy to dance to, not complicated like an opera. Robin reportedly said, "They're trying to be too smart instead of just making people happy." Even though Queen became one of the most famous bands ever, Robin always insisted that the Bee Gees were better because they focused on melody and harmony instead of just showing off. 1. The Sex Pistols. Taking the #1 spot as Robin Gibb's biggest musical enemy are the Sex Pistols. The punk rock band that represented everything Robin hated about music. The Sex Pistols played fast, angry music with guitars that sounded broken and singing that was more like yelling. This was the complete opposite of the Bee Gees' smooth, pretty disco music. Robin thought the Sex Pistols were destroying everything beautiful about music. The hate started in 1977 when punk rock became popular in England. While the Bee Gees were making people happy with Stayin' Alive, the Sex Pistols were making people angry with songs like Anarchy in the UK. Robin reportedly told a music magazine, "They're not musicians, they're just making noise and calling it music." What made Robin most upset was that the Sex Pistols couldn't really play their instruments or sing properly, but people still liked them. Robin had spent his whole life learning to sing perfectly and make beautiful melodies, but these punk rockers became famous just by being loud and rude. The worst part was when Johnny Rotten, the Sex Pistols singer, said mean things about disco music in interviews. He called disco fake music for fake people, which made Robin furious because he was proud of disco music. Robin thought the Sex Pistols were ruining music for young people by teaching them that being messy and angry was better than being skilled and beautiful. He believed music should make people feel good and want to dance, not make them want to fight and be destructive. The final straw came when the Sex Pistols appeared on British television and used bad words that shocked parents across the country. Robin was horrified because he thought musicians should be good role models for children. He reportedly said to his wife, "Music used to bring families together. Now it's tearing them apart." Robin believed the Sex Pistols were poison for society and everything music should never become. To him, they represented the death of melody, harmony, and happiness in popular music. So there you have it, Robin Gibb's surprising musical enemies revealed. Which feud shocked you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more music industry secrets you never saw coming.